Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're focusing on First Solar. You sent in a lot of information, and we've really analyzed the financials, market trends, and their position in the industry to bring you what really matters.
That's right. Our goal is to give you a clear picture of this, significant player in the solar energy sector.
We'll be looking at their recent financial performance, how the business operates and the market they're in, what their management is saying, and how the company is valued, along with potential risks.
And we'll also see how they stack up against some of their competitors. You wanted to understand where First Solar stands now and what might be coming. So let's get into it.
Let's begin by looking at their financial health. In the first quarter of 2025, net sales were around $844.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be, a typical seasonal decline from the previous quarter. However, the full-year net sales expectation for fiscal year 2025 has been adjusted downwards to $5.5 billion.
And the key reason for that adjustment, as mentioned in the reports, is the new U.S. tariffs. This immediately tells us about a significant external factor influencing the company's financial outlook.
That's right. And when we consider earnings, the first quarter 2025 earnings per share were $1.95.
Yeah, quite a drop.
It is. That's down from $3.65 in the fourth quarter of 2024, and also below their own projections. Yet, analysts are still forecasting substantial full-year fiscal EPS growth,
Which is interesting.
from $12.02 in 2024 to an estimated $18.33 for 2025, with further growth anticipated in 2026, potentially exceeding $26 per share. This suggests, a belief in a future upturn.
What's notable is this divergence, isn't it, between the recent lower EPS and the strong future outlook. It really emphasizes the sort of transitional phase First Solar is currently in as they navigate these tariff-related headwinds while market anticipates their longer-term success.
Something that really stands out looking at the structure is their financial structure. First Solar has a very low debt-to-equity ratio, approximately 0.06.
Very low.
For someone who might not be familiar, what does that tell us?
Well, that ratio measures how much debt a company uses versus its shareholders' stake. A low ratio, like First Solar's, indicates they rely more on their own funding than borrowing.
Oh, less leverage.
Exactly, which generally signifies a strong financial position and gives them considerable flexibility.
Speaking of how they're using their funds, their recent operating cash flow was around $209 million. But there was a significant outflow for capital expenditures, about $795 million. That's a large investment.
It is, and that significant spending is primarily directed towards expanding their manufacturing capacity,
Right.
with the new Louisiana facility being a key example. So, while this results in negative free cash flow in the short term, it represents a strategic investment in boosting their future production capabilities.
So it's a case of investing now for potential production gains later. Their return on equity is about 16.77%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for our listeners, return on equity shows how effectively a company generates profit from its shareholders' investments. Is 16.77% a strong figure in the solar industry?
Yes, I'd say within the solar industry, an ROE of 16.77% is generally considered quite robust.
Okay.
It suggests they're efficiently generating profit relative to the money invested by shareholders, particularly when you compare them to others in this, capital-intensive sector who might have lower returns.
Their gross margin also looks interesting. It increased to 41% in the first quarter of 2025 from 37% in the previous quarter.
An improvement there.
And the full-year gross margin is projected to be around 44%. So even with the sales challenges, their profitability on each sale seems to be improving.
It's noteworthy that despite the reduced sales forecast due to tariffs, they are still expecting their gross profit margin to increase for the year.
Right.
This could point to maybe improved cost management or perhaps a change in the types of products they are selling, maybe higher margin ones.
Finally, concerning their financials for now, their cash and marketable securities have decreased to $7,000 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And they anticipate their net cash balance will be between $0.44 to $0.9 billion by the end of the year.
Yeah, and this reduction is likely connected to the substantial capital expenditures we just discussed.
Makes sense.
Precisely. The investments in expanding their production facilities are impacting their cash reserves, but this aligns with their overarching strategy for long-term growth within the U.S. market.
Okay, let's now turn our attention to their business and what sets them apart. It appears a key competitive advantage for First Solar is their unique CAD-TEL thin-film semiconductor technology.
That's a big one.
How does this differ from the more common silicon panels?
Well, unlike the, let's say, more prevalent crystalline silicon panels that use silicon wafers, First Solar employs a different material, cadmium telluride, applied in a thin layer.
Okay.
This CadTel technology can offer advantages in terms of manufacturing costs and potentially performance in certain environmental conditions. It gives them a distinct product offering.
And not just the tech, right? They are America's largest fully vertically integrated solar module manufacturer
Which is huge.
with a significant domestic supply chain.
That domestic supply chain seems particularly important in the current global context. The reports highlight that among the top 10 global solar manufacturers, they are the only U.S.-based company not manufacturing in China.
What kind of strategic benefits does that provide? I mean, that seems significant.
Oh, it is. In the current geopolitical landscape where supply chain security is a growing concern, their domestic manufacturing and lack of reliance on production in China offer a considerable degree of stability.
Right. Less risk there, perhaps?
Less risk, and it could also give them an advantage in securing government contracts and appealing to customers who prioritize, locally sourced products.
It also appears to solidify their leading position specifically within the U.S. market. They are described as an established leader, not some new player.
Definitely. That established leadership in the U.S. market is a significant asset. They've developed strong relationships, have a deep understanding of the regulatory environment, and possess a proven track record that, frankly, many newer companies lack.
Now, regarding the industry they operate in, what are the major trends and challenges they're facing? We've already touched on the tariffs quite a bit.
We have, yes. The increasing support from the U.S. government for renewable energy and the growing demand for clean energy are major positive trends. These are driving growth for the entire solar sector, including First Solar. But the new U.S. tariffs that were implemented in April 2025 pose a significant challenge. There's no way around that. They are putting pressure on their revenues and profit margins and creating considerable uncertainty within the market.
And that's the primary reason cited for the downward adjustment in their full-year projections, correct?
That's what the reports indicate, yes. It's the main factor they're pointing to.
Beyond tariffs, are there other potential risks within the industry we should be aware of?
Well, disruptions to the global supply chain remain a potential risk for all manufacturers, including those in the solar industry. Geopolitical tensions could impact the availability and cost of raw materials and components. However, First Solar's vertically integrated and domestically focused supply chain likely reduces this risk for them compared to some competitors who rely more heavily on international sourcing.
So that structure helps mitigate some of that global risk.
Likely does, yes.
Let's consider the perspective of the company's leadership. The reports mention CEO Mark Widmar expressing confidence in the long-term U.S. market demand for solar energy. Despite the short-term challenges presented by the tariffs, that suggests a management team focused on the long game.
I think his comments emphasize a long-term strategic view. Despite the immediate pressures from the tariffs, the leadership seems confident that the fundamental demand for solar power in the U.S. will remain strong.
Okay.
And they are positioning the company to benefit from that growth over time. It's about looking past the current noise.
Now let's look at the stock's performance. Over the past year, First Solar stock has fallen by approximately 27.2%.
Yeah, it's underperformed.
Which is below the performance of the S&P 500. That's a noticeable decline.
That underperformance likely reflects a mix of things, doesn't it? Broader market conditions, certainly concerns about the impact of the new tariffs.
And maybe earnings.
And possibly some initial disappointment following recent earnings reports. The stock's volatility, including that roughly 12% drop after the earnings announcement, supports this idea.
But then, the report mentions a significant jump, something like 19%, in the stock price on May 13th. What could have caused such a sudden increase after all that?
Well, a sharp increase like that after a period of decline can happen for several reasons. It could indicate renewed optimism among investors, maybe driven by a belief in the company's long-term potential, or perhaps a response to positive analyst commentary.
Or short covering.
It's also possible that investors who had bet against the stocks, the short sellers, had to buy back shares to close their positions. That can definitely create upward pressure on the price. A short squeeze dynamic, perhaps.
And what about the analysts' views? You mentioned commentary. They generally have a positive outlook, a strong buy consensus rating.
Overall, yes.
But it seems their price targets have been lowered recently to around $200, $204. How do we interpret that mix?
It reflects a kind of nuanced perspective. Analysts seem to recognize the fundamental strengths and long-term potential of First Solar, which underpins their positive rating.
But the lowered targets.
But the lowered price targets acknowledge the more immediate challenges posed by the tariffs, leading to a more cautious near-term outlook for the stock price itself. Long-term positive, short-term cautious.
When we look at their competition, the reports mention SunPower and Canadian Solar as key players. How does First Solar compare to these companies?
Okay, so SunPower primarily focuses on high-efficiency crystalline silicon technology. Their product and target market are somewhat different from First Solar's thin film approach.
Different niche.
Sort of. SunPower often targets the residential and commercial sectors with an emphasis on higher performance per panel. Canadian Solar, on the other hand, is a much larger global company with a wider array of products, including traditional silicon modules
Right.
and a more extensive manufacturing presence outside the U.S. So compared to them, First Solar's unique U.S.-based production and their proprietary CDT technology are really the key distinguishing factors.
Got it. So, looking forward, what are the crucial factors you'd be watching if you were following First Solar closely?
Several things would be key, I think. First, the successful ramp-up of their new manufacturing facility in Louisiana. That's critical for increasing their domestic production capacity and meeting anticipated demand.
Keep an eye on that expansion.
Definitely. Second, their upcoming quarterly earnings reports will be essential for understanding the actual financial impact of the tariffs and whether their projected recovery is on track.
Seeing the real numbers.
Seeing the real numbers. Also, any further changes in government regulations regarding tariffs and trade policies will, of course, significantly affect their performance. That's a constant variable.
True.
Lastly, I'd watch the level of their capital expenditures and any potential increases in their inventory levels. These will be important to monitor for their impact on their cash flow and profitability.
So what does all of this mean for you listening in? First, solar presents, well, a complex picture, doesn't it?
It really does.
A company with strong underlying fundamentals
Yep.
and unique advantages within the U.S. market, but currently navigating significant challenges from new tariffs.
The expected growth in earnings per share suggests a potential recovery, but the near-term effects of the tariffs and the success of their expansion efforts are critical aspects to observe.
And the recent stock price volatility certainly highlights the uncertainty and the potential for significant price swings.
This brings up an important question, I think. How effectively will First Solar's strategic focus on the U.S. market, combined with its distinctive technology, enable it to weather these tariff-related difficulties?
And capitalize on the increasing demand for domestically produced solar energy solutions in the long run.
That's the key consideration, isn't it?
Okay.
It's something to ponder as you assess the broader energy landscape.
We hope this has provided you with a clearer understanding of First Solar based on the information you shared with us.
It's hopefully helpful.
And if you found this helpful and would like us to examine other companies in the future, please subscribe, like, and comment.
Let us know what you think.